Hello there, everybody. I'm back again with another speed paint for you guys, and this week we're going to be doing some character designs. For a while now, I've been wanting to do character designs based on the local flora and fauna from my area. I'm from New Jersey in the United States, which means I'm on the east coast of North America. And that means that I have a lot of really cool critters that live nearby. So today I'm going to be drawing 3 characters based on some local bugs from my area, and I hope you guys enjoy them as much as I enjoyed making them. Our first character is based on the common eastern bumblebee. This is probably the most quintessential North American bumblebee that I can think of. Most people, when they think of bees, at least where I'm from, this is probably the insect they are picturing. And I mean, what's not to love about them? They are incredibly round, cute, very docile, very friendly, very gentle. Even though they do have stingers, they aren't really known to use them very much. And they are just incredibly cute, not to mention how fuzzy they are. In fact, one time I saw one of my friends just petting one of them in my backyard. Kind of weird, but you know, I understand the temptation. They are extremely, extremely cute. I wouldn't recommend doing that yourself since it can really stress them out if you don't know what you're doing, but it is fun for me to think about just petting these soft little guys. If you want to help native bumblebees, I recommend planting some native plants in your yard, doing whatever you can to preserve grasslands. That'll really help these guys out. Even though these guys aren't really honeybees, I like them a bit better than the European honeybee. The European honeybee is a little bit contentious where I am, which is New Jersey in the United States. And the European honeybee is, of course, European. He's not from North America at all. And while they are really cute and I do enjoy them, there are some issues with competition with them and the native species. I think that an eastern bumblebee is a really good native species. They are super cute, and honestly, I just enjoy looking at them more than the honeybees. No offense, honeybees. Anyway, the eastern bumblebee is probably one of my favorite insects in North America, if not of all time. They are just incredibly cute, incredibly charming, very, very helpful, and I just love them. They're just so amazing. Every time I see one outside, they just put a smile on my face. They're very diligent. They seem very playful, the way they like to get on flowers that are extra heavy and then land on them so they bounce up and down. They're just incredible little animals. For this character, I really want to embody what I think of when I think about bumblebees. So I made her very friendly looking. I wanted the impression that maybe she spends a lot of time reading or just chilling and hanging out. I gave a big fluffy yellow sweater to her to sort of mimic her big fluffy yellow thorax she would have as a real animal. And I really tried to make her look very charming, cute, and chunky. It's a little bit hard to make an anthropomorphic character who's based on an insect look a little bit more rotund or fat. And that's because their legs don't really store a lot of fat because they just have those stick-like little appendages. So you really have to get that in with their abdomen. And I gave her a nice big round fluffy one with a lot of fuzz on it. I really wanted her to look like she was very pettable because, oh boy, I would love to pet a bumblebee, but I have not. She is very cute. I like to think she's an amazing hugger. I like to imagine that you hug her and she just kind of flaps her wings all happily, and even though she's covered in pollen, you still appreciate the gesture from her. I like to imagine that maybe she owns a bookstore or something. I don't know. Maybe she's a bit of a busy bee who works with her fellow friends. This character design came out really cute. I'm very happy with her. She looks incredibly friendly and fun. And I hope you guys enjoy her too, because I had a lot of fun making her. Our next bug character is based on the yellow jacket wasp. Now, I don't want to hear any slander about wasps in the comments or anything. Wasps are actually really cool animals. You guys just don't know what they do. Wasps have a terrible reputation. A lot of people think of them as being needlessly mean and cruel, when that's just not the case. There really aren't a lot of animals out there that are needlessly mean and cruel. Wasps are usually able to sting without dying. They can sting more than once. And so most people think of them as being more aggressive because they can sting you multiple times, unlike a bee who can only do it once. However, just because they have a weapon doesn't mean that they're mean. Wasps are usually very social, especially yellow jacket wasps, and the reason they might sting you is because they're trying to protect their friends and family. So even though they might seem standoffish and rude, they really are just doing it to protect what they care about. Wasps are also super important because they are a natural form of pest control. They can actually do quite a bit to deter things like mosquitoes and ticks from settling in areas. So while you're busy trying to scare off the wasps, you're actually encouraging even more damaging and annoying animals to come bother you. So it's actually worth befriending wasps. In fact, that is something you can actually do. We're not really sure how they do it, but people have figured out that wasps are actually able to remember people. We're not sure if this is by sight, by their voice, by their smell, but you can basically establish a relationship with the hive of wasps. As long as you are nice to them by respecting their space and not doing anything harmful or mean to them directly, they will remember that and remember that you are an ally and not just a predator. But, on the other hand, if you make yourself out to be an enemy to the wasps by throwing rocks at their house, trying to swat them, they will remember and they will relay that information to their hive to make sure that they know not to mess with you. They might even try to drive you away. This can be really problematic if you have a wasp nest in your yard that you've unfortunately made a bad relationship with. Because that's your house, but it's also their house, and they're trying to scare you away from it. The best way to avoid this is just by being nice to the wasp to begin with. Some people have even reported that wasps will come sit on their shoulder after they've befriended them and just hang out for a little bit while they're outside. They're actually pretty cool, very smart little animals, and I just think they're very underrated and very cool. This wasp character, I tried to make her look very standoffish and a little grumpy, just like the sort of reputation that yellow jackets have, but I think she secretly has a sweet side. I gave her a nice big Letterman jacket since I felt like that fit the yellow jacket theme quite a bit, and I think it makes her look a bit like a butch lesbian, which I think is very fun. It's a little hard to make a bug look like a butch lesbian, but I think I got there a little bit. I tried to make her look very grumpy and like she's kind of cranky and not wanting to talk to you. But I think once you get close to her, she's actually a pretty reliable and loyal friend. She would be willing to do a lot of things for you, as long as you ask nicely. Balancing the colors on this piece was really interesting. I only had a couple of colors to see in the reference. Obviously, yellow jackets are black and yellow, and they have orange wings, and that was really all I had to work with. But I had a lot of fun with the Letterman jacket. I gave it black sleeves, I gave it a yellow body, a white collar, white cuffs. This is a little bit based on a Letterman jacket I used to have when I was in high school, but obviously this one is very, very, very yellow. I gave a lot of dark orange accents to parts of this design to give it a little more contrast and make it a little more readable. The symbols on the Letterman jacket, the little butterfly and the Y, are in orange, as well as the cuffs of the shirt underneath, and her legs, since the tips of Yellow Jacket's legs actually come to be a bit of a darker brown color instead of just remaining yellow. That's part of why they look different from bumblebees too. Bumblebees have black legs and the Yellow Jackets have yellowy brown legs. Speaking of bumblebees, I think this character would easily be friends with the bumblebee character. Perhaps they are in love, who can say? Little lesbians, so to speak. I think they would get along great, even though you would think they would be an odd match. I had a lot of fun with this design. I think she came out really charming and cute. She might be my favorite of the bunch, but I guess we'll have to see because I still have one more to go. Last but not least, we have another very popular insect from my area, the common eastern firefly. Fireflies are super cool. I feel like they don't really need an introduction. I think everybody knows what these things are. Except maybe they don't. Even though they are called fireflies, they are not actually a type of fly. They are a type of beetle, and personally, they might be my favorite type of beetle. They're well known for their bioluminescent abdomens, which glow at will. A lot of people have this misconception that they just glow on a timer, but they actually control when their abdomens glow and use specific patterns and signals to communicate with each other at a distance. I think it's really neat. A fun fact about fireflies, by the way, they are actually carnivores. I think when a lot of people think about fireflies, they think about how cute and docile they seem, but they're actually kind of vicious. The way that fireflies communicate with each other is, of course, through their lights. Usually the females will sit on the ground or in some branches, flashing, and males will fly around trying to flash a specific signal to attract a female of his same species. But sometimes some females are pretty hungry and they want a snack, so they flash a false signal of a different type of female firefly to lure in a male and then eat him, which I think is really funny. I mean, you do need a lot of calories to lay healthy eggs and have good kids, and I guess eating another guy who is about your size would certainly have a lot of nutritional quality. Of course, not all of them engage in cannibalism. That's just a couple of species that do that weird little trick. Most of the time, they just eat other insects, worms, and even snails, apparently. Another interesting thing about fireflies is their elytra. I think a lot of people only really see fireflies in the dark at night, which makes sense. They are nocturnal, and their most notable feature is their little glowing butt. But I think one of their coolest things is their wing case, or elytra. I'm sure a lot of you have heard that term before. That is the jetpack thing in Minecraft, the wings. And the reason it's called an elytra is because it's built to resemble a beetle's wing case. If you are using the elytra in Minecraft, you're basically a pyrotechnics-powered beetle, which I think is way, way, way cooler than just having wings. Anyway, the elytra on a firefly has these yellow stripes around the edges, and I think it gives them a very nice little graphic design sort of look. It makes them look even cooler, even in the daylight. So I really wanted to make sure that that element was visible in her design to really make her pop. After all, Firefly isn't just a glowy butt, they're a whole animal too. The center of their body is actually a decent bright red color, which I tried to represent in this design by having her wear a big sweater. I just like making characters wear a big sweater, what can I say? On the back of her sweater, there's a design that sort of resembles the dark spot that some fireflies will have on their thorax. But I wanted to make it something unique, so I kind of gave it this shape that would help emphasize where the arms are in the design, to emphasize her slightly more human shape. I had a lot of fun with the poses for this too. When they're flying, fireflies actually just let all their legs loose like they're X-posing, or I guess, with all the limbs that they have, I guess it would be more like an asterisk. And they just fly around with all their limbs out, flying around, hoping to show off their butt as much as possible. And I just think it is really charming and cute looking, so I wanted to do a goofy pose based on that. Unlike the other characters who have side profile as their thing, I thought hers wouldn't be as interesting, so I gave her a rear view instead so you could more clearly see her elytra and the back of her sweater. This is the only design I put on a dark background. I felt it was only fitting. She is the only nocturnal animal of this set, after all. And I think it makes her light up butt stand out even more. I had a ton of fun with this design. I think she came out really cute. I don't know if she's romantically entangled with the other two, but I think she is their friend. She's just more of a night owl than they are. I hope you guys enjoy her, because I enjoyed making her. And with that, those are all of my characters I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed these character designs. I had a lot of fun making them. I think they came out really adorable, and I kind of want to draw them again at some point. I just think they came out pretty charming. It is still July, even though July is almost coming to an end, which means it is art fight season. So if you would like to art fight me, you can find me at Aquaspider on artfight.net. And I'm on Team Stardust. If you would like to support me, I recommend checking out my Ko-fi page. It is probably the best way of supporting me. I have monthly memberships, commissions, a shop, all sorts of neat stuff on there. I'm trying to move sometime next year, so any help via Ko-fi would really help me achieve that goal and make my life a little bit easier, a little bit more stable. And hopefully it would mean that I would be able to make more art for you guys. I'm planning on doing more local wildlife characters at some point. Do you guys have any cool ideas of New Jersey or Eastern United States animals I could do? Or I'll take plants too. Wildlife isn't just animals. At least by my definition anyway. If you guys have any more suggestions, let me know. I would love to make even more of these characters. If you have any suggestions for any other speed paints, let me know as well. I'll be doing even more of them pretty soon. And I believe that is all I have for you guys today. So thank you guys so much for watching. And go out there and make some art!